Hello guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm so excited to have you guys back here, and to my 260 subscribers, thank you so very much for choosing to be on this journey with me. My name is Greta, or Greater like I'm called here in Canada, and I'm a Nigerian currently living in Alberta, Canada as a permanent resident. So here I share my stories, my journey, and the things I know about relocating to Canada based on my little experience. Please note that I am not an immigration consultant. I just share the little I know from doing research over the years that I was on the journey, and that's why I always tell people that you can always find information online. So today, like I mentioned in my last video, I shall be talking about provincial nomination, and I'll be starting with the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. It's called the OINP, by the run by the Ontario government. So sit down, relax, and let's get into the video. In the video today, guys, first of all, I'll explain what the Ontario Nominee Program is all about, and my focus today would be on the one that concerns express entry. That's for outlanders, people that want to, that are not in Ontario, that doesn't have any connection with Ontario yet, and want to get a 600 extra points in order to boost their express entry scores. That's what we're talking about today, and we'll also be looking at the occupations that that are regularly picked by Ontario, and also what the score range has been like this year and also before last year ended. Ontario as a province in Canada, which is one of the biggest provinces in Canada, recognizes and once in a while goes to nominate people for permanent residence, and because these people meet their economic needs, so they nominate you. However, the government of Canada gets to make the final decision as regards your application for permanent residency. So one thing you must note is that even when you want to get that 600 points from the Ontario government, you must first have an express entry account. So everything still comes through the federal express entry program. So you must have an express entry account, and if you don't have an idea how to go about that, or you've not watched my previous video on how to start the express entry journey, I'll just link the video up here or here, and please go watch it. So they have about 9 streams. You have the business stream, you have the international student stream, you have the human capital priorities stream, you have the entrepreneur stream, you have the masters or the PhD stream, you have the skilled trade stream, and you have the French speaking skilled worker stream. Yeah, they also Ontario government is also interested in people who have a high level of French speaking, but our focus today would be on the human capital priorities stream, because that's the one that goes into the express entry pool to pick people or to send notification of interest to individuals who meet their targeted occupation. Now, what's the human priority stream all about? The focus mainly for the stream is for healthcare workers and also tech occupations. So first, let's talk about the requirements. The first requirement, like I've already said, is that you must have an existing express entry account, and up-to-date account that matches your work experience, your language, and your education. So they must be up to date. The next requirement that is very, very important, guys, like when you say very, 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 very important, I can stretch that, is that while opening your express entry account, you get to a part where they ask you that which province do you have in mind to settle in. Most times they would advise that you choose all provinces. You pick all provinces rather than just choosing one, because of course you really do not know where you want to settle in, right? And you don't know which province might favor you. The next important thing is that there are 2 places. The first one would ask you that, do you want the Ontario government to send you a notification of interest? You are advised to choose yes. And the second one would be, do you want the British Columbia province to send you a notification of interest? You're also expected to click yes if you're looking at provincial nomination from any of these provinces. Now, let me just quickly tell you a story. There was a mistake I made, not for my application, but for the application of someone I know that I will be doing the thing together. She was having issues opening the account herself, so I decided to help her. And while I was opening the account, because we were targeting Alberta Nomination Program is another one I will talk about in a subsequent video. So because we were targeting Alberta, and there's a way that Alberta program operates, so we just chose Alberta. Then the part where they said, do you want the Ontario government to send you a notification of interest? We didn't click that box. It was just like an oversight. Less than a month later, the Ontario government did a healthcare draw, and the score was as low as 350 something, I think, and she was on 400 and something, but like 420 or thereabout, 419. Immediately I saw it, I reached out to her to say, check your email, you must have gotten this nomination of interest from Ontario. And she checked, double checked, triple checked. She said, I don't have it, I didn't get it. I was like, something is wrong somewhere. And so we went back to her account to see what could be the problem. Guys, that was when we realized that we did not tick those we didn't check those very important boxes, and she missed that one. It was very painful. So check all the boxes, and the part where they ask you if Ontario government if you want the Ontario government to send you notification of interest, also check that box. Now, please note that you cannot apply directly to the Ontario government until they have sent you a notification of interest, and they can only send you a notification or a nomination of interest when you are in the pool. So unlike some provinces that have a separate application portal, Ontario government does not have for the express entry stream. Rather, they go into the pool to select profiles that are of interest to them. Once you are selected, you have 45 days to put in your application and send it to them. So guys, let's take a pause here. Please, if you have not subscribed, if you've been watching my videos or you're currently watching this video and you have not subscribed to my channel, please, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe. Just click the subscribe button there. Subscribe to my channel so that our subscriber counts will keep growing, and also like this video to help me with YouTube algorithm so that more people will get to watch these videos. My videos are quite good and educative, you know. Thank you so very much, guys. Let's continue. Okay, guys, so let's start with the healthcare occupations. The occupations that the Ontario government targets, they go into the pool, and anytime they do a healthcare draw for the province, not the general one, please note, these are the occupations that they send notification of interest. So you have managers in healthcare, specialists in clinical and laboratory medicine, specialists in surgery, general practitioners and family physicians, veterinarians, dentists, optometrists, audiologists and speech language pathologists, pharmacists, dietitians and nutritionists, chiropractors, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, kinesiologists and other professional occupations in therapy and assessment, other professional occupations in health diagnosing and treating, nursing coordinating and supervisors, registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, midwives and allied health professionals, opticians, licensed practical nurses, paramedical occupations, respiratory therapists, clinical perfusionists and cardiopulmonary technologists, animal health technologists and veterinary technicians, other technical applications in therapy and assessment, denturists, dental hygienists and dental therapists, dental technologists and technicians, medical laboratory technologists, medical radiation technologists, medical sonographers, cardiology technologists and electrophysiological diagnostic technology, pharmacy technicians, other medical technologists and technicians, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners and acupuncturists, massage therapists, other practitioners of natural healing, dental assistants and dental laboratory assistants, medical laboratory assistants and related technical occupations, nurse aides, orderlies and patient service associates, pharmacy technical assistants and pharmacy assistants, other assisting occupations in support of health. Now, the good thing about this Ontario Healthcare Bureau is that the target, in addition to the healthcare occupations that the General Express Entry Draw targets, Ontario Provincial Nomination also targets more healthcare occupations that the general draw does not target, like pharmacists. The general draw, which is the category-based draw for healthcare, does not pick pharmacists and some other occupations here, but you see that the Ontario government picks those occupations, so that's a plus. Sometimes the Ontario government will just say that, okay, for healthcare draw, their healthcare draw, they need people who have score from 425 down to 350. So that's how they do. They'll just pick from 350 to 425. So if you have above 425, you will not get picked. Sometimes they would come and say, okay, we are going to pick people that have 430 to 465. So if you have below 430, you're not getting, and if you have above 465, you're not getting. So that's how they do it. But it can be fun sometimes, and it can be really, really beneficial for people who know that they have very low scores and they are unable to meet the General Express Entry Draw requirements. Now let's go over to the tech occupations. So for the tech, we have computer and information system managers, we have data scientists, cybersecurity specialists, business system analysts, information system specialists, database analysts and data administrators, computer systems developers and programmers, software engineers and designers, software developers and programmers, web designers, web developers and programmers, computer engineers, except software engineers and designers, computer network technicians, computer network technicians, user support technicians, information systems testing technicians. The range for the tech draws will be from 460 to about 480 for the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program under tech. We have limited occupations under the tech draws as it concerns on the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. There was a recent post I saw on Twitter made by Olu of Canada from the Ontario government, where it was stated that there would be very soon there will be a very high need for healthcare workers as the aging population in Ontario is really building up. So guys, that's why I think Ontario really targets and focuses more of healthcare than tech. I'll be putting the link to the Ontario government website on in the description box of this video so that you can get to go make further research. Guys, I feel like I should just keep reiterating this, that you get a nomination of interest from the Ontario government does not mean that you've gotten the 600 points. You would have the nomination of interest means that they want you to submit your application to them, and they go through your application, and if your application meets their standard, then they send you your nomination letter and a nomination certificate with the 600 points. Your express entry profile, which is already existing, will be updated. So you've gotten your nomination of interest, notification of interest from Ontario government. What do? You have 45 days to submit your application. It is at this point that you will not demonstrate to them in your application that you meet all the stream requirements, all the requirements that are stated that were stated in that stream, and also the qualifications you have claimed. You would have to demonstrate it. So it's very advised. It's advised that you put in a good application. There are groups you can join. There you'll find information on what to do. These groups are free. Trust me, I only bring things that are free, things that you don't need to spend money on. The only money you need to spend are maybe the test and the proof of fund and everything. These things are DIY. DIY. I'm a DIY queen. Okay, guys. So some of the things you need to submit would be your educational credential assessment. Then another important thing is that you must have your proof of fund. It's not the general one, but the province wants you to prove to them that you have the required amount, because the provinces and the federal government, they work hand in hand. First, you demonstrate to the province that you have the required amount for your family size. You'll be needing employment reference. You will also be needing your pay slips for the employment you have claimed. They would also need you to submit your resume stating your work experience, especially for the work that you have claimed that made them give you that nomination of interest. They would also want you to submit like a letter of intent, explaining to them why you want to settle in Ontario, what you think you can do for the province. It's just something simple, it's not a biggie. So you need to explain to them, okay, I want to settle in Ontario because I have this, I have this. Just write a love letter to them. And guys, one other thing you must know is that once a province nominates you and your application is successful, you get the 600 points. Guys, you must stay in that province for at least 2 years. You must stay in that province. You cannot get nominated by a particular province, and once you have your application is successful, you've gotten your confirmation of permanent residency, then you land and you go and live in another province. Guys, it's not possible. If you get nominated, you have to stay in that province that nominated you. The only time you can stay in any province of your choice is when your application was not dependent, or is if your application was not dependent on a particular province. And if there's anything that wants to take you out of that province, it must be something very important, and you must prove beyond, maybe you're not getting a job, you must prove beyond every reasonable doubt that you have applied for jobs and you are not getting. Like, it must be very, very important. After you put everything together, then you pay a processing fee, or like an application fee of 1,500 Canadian dollars. That's the amount that you must pay before your application can be submitted. And once your application is submitted, it takes, I think, about 4 to 6 months from the applications of people who I know that have submitted, maybe 3 to 6 months. You can do well to check the Ontario government website to know their processing time. You've gotten a nomination of interest does not mean that your application will be automatically approved. There are some people that the applications bounce back and so it's gone. So that's why you are always advised to put in a good application. You are successful after a period of 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. They send you a nomination letter and your nomination certificate with your 600 points added to your profile. What would you now do? You will now wait for the federal government draw to be done, and once they do a draw and your current score falls within that draw, then you would get your invitation to apply. So the provincial government gives you a nomination certificate. They nominate you, give you 600 points, add it to your existing profile, and then it's now for the federal government to send you an invitation to apply. So after they send you an invitation to apply, then you will now apply again, send another application to the federal government. And it's now the federal government that will now, maybe after going through your application, maybe your application was successful, it did not bounce back due to a mistake or misrepresentation. There's something called misrepresentation. Then you would get your confirmation of permanent residence and you will be made a permanent resident. Now guys, let me just state one thing. Remember that story of the person I told you? This is a true story. Remember the story of the person I told you that we missed because we didn't check that box? She missed getting a nomination. So finally, after about a few months down the line, another draw was done, I think in January, and she no last year another draw was done as at November last year. She got another notification of interest. She got a notification of interest from Ontario. Now I'm going somewhere. Just want to state a good thing about the Ontario government program. So she got a nomination of interest from the Ontario government. She put her application together and she submitted. She was waiting for feedback from them. And in early February, the federal government did a healthcare category based draw that was up to her score. And guess what? She got nominated. So you can be in the poll, you have been nominated by a province, and while you're waiting feedback from them, the federal government does a draw that is in your favor and you get invitation to apply. So she got invitation to apply, and then what happened? She's interested in the federal government because it's direct. She doesn't have to wait for the Ontario government, and from Ontario government moves again to the federal government. And so what she had to do was to cancel her application with the Ontario government. And what a good thing about the Ontario government is that before it gets to a stage that is called the decision in progress stage, the DIP stage, if you cancel, you can get a refund. But once it passes that, once you are already in the decision in progress stage, if you cancel your application, yes, you can cancel your application, but your application fee is gone, the 1,500. So thankfully, she had not gotten to the decision in progress stage, and she cancelled her application and she got her $1,500 dollars refund. So her application is now with the federal government. Additional points that I would want to state is that please avoid misrepresentation in your application. Always state the truth. Always be truthful in your application, because your application to the province and your application to the federal government must match. And these people do thorough research, and if they find any loophole, of course, that could be a genuine reason for your application to be rejected, and we don't want that. Another part of this Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program is the French-speaking skilled worker stream. They are also interested in profiles that have French-speaking abilities. They are interested in profiles that have CLB 7 and above in all the French competencies. And from time to time, they go to do their French draws. Thank you so very much, guys, for staying with me to the end of this video. And until the next time, bye bye for now. My name is Greater. My name is Greater. Greater, like I'm called. My name is Greater. Greater or Greater.
Oh, guys, to talk isn't easy. My mouth aches. Guys, cheers to Ontario Nomination Program and to 1,000 subscribers very soon. Bye.